We overflow in a dry. Hello, author friends. I got my sissy messaging me, letting me know that you guys couldn't hear me. Tammy hopped in the chat to let your girl know she couldn't hear me. And so hopefully you all can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Um, I do see it is moving along. I do see that there is audio going up and down. And so hopefully this time around you can hear me. Tammy, let me know if you do decide. Yay! Shavandria said you can hear me. Yay! As I was trying to communicate earlier, y'all, I expected to come on here full face of makeup, come give y'all the things. But can I tell y'all something? When you're operating from a place of freedom and in a place of purpose, you can flow and things don't have to be difficult. And so today I am not as dialed up as I expected. I'm a little late too. I wanted to come on here at 6 o'clock. But Thursdays are very heavy days for me in coaching, and I had some really great coaching sessions today. And I honestly had some great conversations. And in the process of kind of decompressing, I got distracted. Y'all, I was watching some people make croissants on YouTube. And so I am grateful that I'm able to share with you guys what we're going to talk about today. I have a fabulous coach who's also in the chat, Shamandrian, who helped me figure out a little bit more about the customer journey, the journey that I want to take you guys on in this community. Because I'm not just teaching you all information for you to just kind of throw spaghetti at the wall. And can I be just really honest? I think that part of the reason I was not seeing just the kind of like growth that I was seeing unless I was actually hands on and tapping in and checking in is because some of you guys just didn't know what to do next. And I hate when my authors feel like that. And I do think that there was a little piece there where you guys just didn't know what to do next. And so the author success profile that I have created, these three different profiles that I have created for members of this community and for authors who are in my world, the point of that is so that you can have some clarity. Um, you can have some clarity on how to actually flow from various phases of your authorship journey, but also you all so that you can know what things you should be focusing your attention on when. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, let me cut my own voice off. Hi, Alexandria. I have to check the replay because I know today was good on Thrive Thursday podcast. I'm coming to check the replay. I thought I was going to have a little break in my coaching and I ended up not being able to. But girl, I'm so excited to check out today's podcast. Like my friends are doing, hop on in the comments and let me know when you pop in here so that I can greet you. Even if you're watching the replay, say, hey, Marquila, say hashtag replay gang, and I will make sure to greet you in the comments as well. So I just shared this on my personal page as well for all my friends and family who y'all know what I do, but you don't know what I do. I am an author concierge. I help people along the journey of authorship and in the journey of a book. And I like to say that I make the journey of a book luxurious, mainly because I turn authorship from this kind of big question mark that you kind of got to do on your own, that you kind of got to make questions in your mind about what you should do. And I turn it into a journey where you have someone that will guide you, and also where you have someone that you can tap into to get some assistance and to lead you. And how many of y'all know community is a luxury? And I know that. And so, one of the things that I do in order to make my claim of turning the journey of a book into a luxurious experience, one of the things that's important in this process is this community. You guys are a way that I fulfill my promise of making the journey of a book luxurious, because community and the power of what happens when we're growing together is a very luxurious thing. So, in my work with my coach Shamandrian to make sure that that I get you all's experience to be right and tight, we discovered that there are these three different phases that I have for you guys, and that there are three different distinct ways that you can identify yourself in your author journey. And by the time you get through with kind of doing the things that I suggest you to do and following along with my coaching, you should be an expert author who has a scaled business behind your book. And you should be functioning from a place where you have your own platforms, you are leveraging systems at scale, and where you understand exactly the day-to-day things that are necessary for you to make passive income from your book. And so that it takes a little while to get there. I believe that within 60 days, people who are in contact with me should be making money from their book, even if it's just that you made one sale. And within 3 years, that kind of overarching expert perspective, you should be there, or at least you should be in a place where you're moving closer to there. So I decided to create a really fabulous quiz for you guys to show you where you are in your authorship journey today, and to give you some very clear steps that you should take, as well as things that you can get from my world that will help you get, a little bit further along in your journey. So I'm going to break down these three phases. If you were on my personal page earlier this week, I have an announcement for y'all, and I'm just really like, I'm getting it more and more excited about it. Today, kind of the reality of what I'm announcing tomorrow kind of hit me that I'm much further along in my like growth as an entrepreneur, as a coach in this business than I think I really thought I would be. So we have an announcement coming. I'll come live probably earlier in the day tomorrow to discuss that. But let's go through these three different profiles. And then if you're curious, if you're like, girl, I want to know what kind of author I am, the link to the chat, or to the quiz, excuse me, is inside the bio. I'll drop it in the chat as well for my friends. Y'all know I'm a good Bitly girl. I keep me a quick link, okay? I keep me a quick link. So it's bit.ly/TFE quiz, the faith edit, TFE quiz, Quiz. Okay, so an established author, most of the people who are inside the Released Author Club are established authors. You have an idea of what you can be selling behind your book, and you're kind of trying things to make sure that you're making money behind your book, but you haven't yet created systems around those businesses, excuse me, and you do not have a steady flow of authority or visibility. You're not consistently on any one stage. You don't have your own platform, or if you have your own platform, it's just beginning. And so you're very much so in the place where you are establishing yourself as an author, but you're not quite there yet. The biggest thing that I encourage established authors to do is, yes, get into communities, but also you have to get yourself to a place where you have figured out your business. So most of you all, when you come into the Released Author Club, you get access to the Monetize Your Book Business Challenge. And that challenge is a 5-day challenge that will literally show you how to create the business behind your book. I have some announcements tomorrow, but I'm not gonna spoil them. I'm bad at keeping secrets, y'all. So for the established author, you need to get in community, but you also just kind of need to make up in your mind. You have to decide that this book that you created is good enough to make you enough money to sustain yourself. Most of my friends who are in that first phase of entrepreneurship, you have yet to really decide in your mind that your book can pay your bills. And so your book hasn't really been making you any money. But when you make the decision for something, how many of you all know that when you make a decision, you create systems for that decision? And joining a community like the Released Author Club is a system that backs up your decision. Okay, so that's the established author. The executive author is the person who you started to figure it out. You're in a place of leadership, right? But you're not quite in a place where you have systems at scale. You actually just got the system for your sales funnel. You just got a CRM that has some automations to it. You are just now getting into the place where your book is making money passively and you're figuring that out. For a lot of my friends who are in the executive portion of entrepreneurship, you need access to like coaching that is one-on-one, because you've already kind of gone through the challenges, you've done the webinars, you've done the things, and now you really need to get into like accountability with somebody who has the knowledge that you need. And so we have an accelerator for a marketing strategy that we do that is called Echo Chambers. And so that's an opportunity that many of you all who are executive authors can take. You can do one-on-one coaching with myself, strategy sessions. But another thing that you can do when you're in that place and you're really trying to figure out, how do I get to the next level? If you can't quite afford one-on-one coaching, if you're not quite there, then you need to be like ready and willing to ask for hot seat coaching whenever it comes up. A lot of times when I have like challenges or classes or we do actual meetings on Zoom, I'm giving you guys an opportunity to talk real time through what's going on. And so if you can't afford one-on-one coaching, or if it's just not something you want to take your time or your money to invest in, you absolutely must be taking every opportunity for hot seat coaching and running with it. All right, let's go to this last part of this kind of workflow, if you will, in my system, and that is expert authors. Expert authors have their businesses behind their book scaling. So, for example, the business behind Snap Out of It, Kingdom Women Don't Play Small, which publishes in June. Shameless plug. Publishes June 20th. The business behind that is confidence coaching. It is a book about being who God called you to be and operating in your authority with confidence. So, as an expert, because to be honest, this isn't my first book, and books are what I do, right? So I don't necessarily have to build myself. Once you become an expert, you normally will have multiple books anyway. So by the time you become an expert, when you publish your next book, it's not like you have to start from scratch. So when I published Kingdom Women Don't Snap Out of It, when I published that book, the business behind that book will already be scaling. There will already be a funnel and systems in place that don't require me to be hands-on doing it. There will already be like an evergreen webinar that's happening in the background that will be selling the thing that the book proves, right? So many of my expert coaches, my expert authors, my expert consultants, my expert entrepreneurs, my expert leaders, your book is just the thing that you use to make the claim about your business. So, for example, the book that I've written is making the claim that you can have authority and confidence. And then the coaching is how I prove what I've claimed in the book. A lot of my expert authors who I'm connected, Samantha, you hear me? You hear me? Yes. So for my friends who are experts, a lot of times what you need is high level community. You need masterminds. You need to be in rooms with other people who are experts so that you can be collaborating with them and building relationships on that level. For my friends who are experts, oftentimes you might need to go back and evaluate your systems. One of the things that I'm really good at, I don't necessarily do it in this space because, to be honest, this space is really more geared toward people who are on the first or second stage. I don't have too many people inside the community who have written more than one book, have a scale business behind their book yet. So we're getting there. We're going to grow there together. But for my expert coaches, you all, what you really need beyond community is you really need evaluation. You need people who will go into your business and take a fine tooth comb and say, that part of your system is a bottleneck. This part of your business is making you lack visibility. This way that you're showing up in your messaging is keeping you from connecting with your ideal client. You need someone who will go through your systems and check for issues. And if you think your business doesn't have any issues, you're not an expert, because experts are very good at being able to pinpoint where they don't have genius or where they're struggling. And so a lot of my friends who are on the journey to expertise, you're on the journey to becoming an expert author, you need to prepare yourself even now for evaluation, because your business will never be in a place where it doesn't need to be constantly evaluated, and your systems will never be in a place where they don't need to be taken a fine tooth comb through. Excuse me. So these three spots are really fun places. Number one, where I get to say, "Yay, you did the thing!" And these three profiles all reflect an author who has been released in their purpose and released with their book, and who is using their book in order to grow in their personal, professional, and spiritual development, if I can be honest with you. One of the things that doing this process of really fine tuning the path that I am taking you guys on has done for me is that it has reminded me of who I really serve. This is not to diminish any of the people who don't fit into my target audience niche. But I do think that for a little bit there, we kind of got a little distracted. We got a little, we got a little off target. And I talked about this on my Instagram. Sometimes we can miss the mark by a millimeter, and that little miss of a mark can cause us to waste time doing things we don't need to do. And so, in clarifying these three places in you all's journey that I get to serve you to and through, I also have reminded myself who I actually serve, why I actually serve that specific person. And so, we are going to be making some tweaks to the language, the messaging, the actual offerings, and definitely making some tweaks to who I'm actually targeting to come to events and things of that nature. But for all of my friends here, I hope that you'll take the quiz and get some insight on where you are in your author journey. You all, I promise I'm a resource. These 107 people in this group, you all have more access to me than honestly I think you even know. If you are struggling with actually getting your book onto KDP, or if there's been an issue in any way, shape, or form with you getting your book out in the world, I promise you I'm here to help you. Not because I'm just so benevolent, but in order for me to take you on a path where you can make money from your book has to be available for sale. And so if there's anybody who's in this community and your book isn't actually up on a platform for sale, before you watch another training, before you listen to me talk about making money, please message me and ask me for some help. Because you all you can't be effective at growing and getting through these stages if you're not actually able to make money from your book. So that's my little spiel. I really am grateful to serve you all. I don't call myself a concierge by like happenstance. It is not something that I say on a fly. My first experience, or ever even like learning about a concierge, and I'm aging myself, was Pretty Woman, right? And the concierge that was, so helpful to Julia Roberts, he just seemed like a hero to me. And so when I actually stayed in a hotel with a concierge in it as a kid, I was like, wow, that's a thing. And then I remember in college, I dated a guy who was actually a concierge at a hotel. And it just seemed to me that, like, wow, to be able to be a person that people can come to and really rely on you and really expect for you to solve problems for them seems so cool. And so when I was trying to figure out what I would call myself, because I'm not a publisher and I don't ever want to pretend like I am. And I'm not some like ignorant person who's hoping and wishing your book will sell. I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for over 10 years. And so when I really went down and sat down and thought about what it is that I do, I asked God, and God gave me this idea to call myself an author concierge. And it was like, that makes so much sense because I really am here to serve the people who God gives me access to. It's really important to me that you all take the opportunity of your book and you run with it and you allow your book to change your life. And so I hope that the information, I hope the author success profile, I hope that all this stuff that we kind of end up sharing at the end of the day, I hope it leads you closer into your purpose and definitely deeper into the person that God has called you to be. That's all I have to share. That was a 20-minute blessing. It would have been a 15-minute blessing if I didn't have all these technical difficulties. But I love y'all. Again, if you're interested in trying to figure out where you fall on your author success path or your success profile, go ahead and take the quiz that's in the link below. And be on the lookout. I will be going live tomorrow to talk about the new things, to give some more information. I will not be so fresh faced. Okay. The girl will have on some makeup or something. But and I've been saying this a lot because I'm finally back on my YouTube. But I love you, God loves you, and the people who don't love you are none of your business, y'all. I hope that you have a fabulous evening. Shamandria and Alexandria, thank you so much for hanging out with me live here. I will see all of you all very soon.